right, guys, welcome back to another episode of The Rest of the Spear. Today we have another guest from the Air Force side. I think this is going to be a pretty cool guest because he's a loadmaster, and if you've spent any time on a plane in the Army or Marine Corps, you probably ran into one of these guys. They're the ones who told you to sit down and shut up. So I'm looking really forward to that. But before we jump in, hey, we're gaining some pretty good momentum, guys. I'm getting pretty excited about this. We have about 11 followers. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but in the big scheme of things, of us just kind of doing this word of mouth, no promotion, no advertising, no social media, I feel like that's pretty good. So, again, if you can just remember to like, share, subscribe, share this with friends, give us a follow, and just help us grow on this because yeah, that's just something we decided to start, and hopefully we get some more information out there to people who are looking to join the military, are currently in the military, maybe looking to cross level and do another job, but they don't really know what that looks like, or they don't know anyone in that job. So yeah, we're just trying to get the word out to anyone here. So with that, today I'm going to let the co-host, as you know him, Joe Sherman, who's been here with me from the beginning. He's going to take over since he's got his good buddy that he has come up through the ranks with, and they're going to break down the Loadmaster story. So Sherman, take it over.
All right, yeah, I got my friend Miguel here with me. We didn't quite come up through the ranks together. I ended up meeting him probably about halfway through my career once I'd moved over to the CB-22, to the Osprey and Air Force Special Operations. He and I got stationed together during my second tour at Cannon Air Force Base. But yeah, I'll hand it over to him, and he can talk about the Loadmaster life and anything else he feels like talking about.
Absolutely nothing. No, thanks for having me, guys. I'll just quickly introduce myself to the audience. So, name's Miguel. I was born, raised out of San Antonio, Texas. So I grew up looking at Air Force people all the time. So I was kind of wanted to join, but that wasn't necessarily the plan.
Yeah, basic training for the Air Force is in San Antonio. It's the only place we have basic training, unlike the Army or Marines. Everybody goes through San Antonio at some point.
Yeah. So I always saw those dudes walking around in uniforms. I always kind of looked up to them. They looked a little nerdy, but I was interested. Um, my the way I joined the Air Force, I was explaining to Joe, was a little non-standard. I know we joked about our recruiters a lot, but my brother-in-law was actually my recruiter, um, and I didn't intend to join the Air Force, but he got me a little sauced up one night, and he was like, "I bet you can't pass the ASVAB." Probably within 24 hours, I had taken the ASVAB, and then within 3 weeks, I was off to boot camp or basic training. I think that's what we called it, right?
Yeah, that's basic.
Yeah, basic training. Um, so yeah, my intention was not to join. He kind of finagled his way into my life and got me to join.
Was he actually a recruiter?
Yeah, he was an actual recruiter.
So he hit a quota by getting you. Like, this is probably a case for the JAG.
Yes,
He
absolutely.
got you drunk and took advantage of you.
Yeah. So he was a recruiter out of San Angelo and worked out of a mall. And I mean, I don't know. They gave him a nice car to drive around as a recruiter. I thought it looked pretty cool doing it. And I know he was doing well off for himself, so it wasn't hard to convince me. Um, so yeah, sorry, we got a little distracted over here,
Yeah,
but
there's about 5 kids running around our house right now with both of our families together.
yeah. So my brother-in-law kind of convinced me to do it. I didn't know what job I was getting. I joke about this pretty often. He made me sign the paper, and I had no clue what my AFSC, or what the Army calls an MOS, was going to be. Um, the AFSC, I guess, is a Air Force Specialty Code. Yeah. So I didn't know what I was going to do. He kind of explained to me the job. He was like, "Yeah, your job is going to be to like load planes and stuff." And that's all he told me. And so I went basic training, like I said, there out of San Antonio. Uh, Once again, a little non-standard. Most people, I think, they like fly into San Antonio. They put them up in a hotel, and then they get bussed over probably the next morning. Is that how yours went, Joe?
I flew in, yeah, but I think like they the bus picked me up from the airport and took me, direct to basic
Oh, direct.
training. Yeah, and so like I got there and you just kind of like hung around in a holding pen until like your whole class got brought together, and then
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So yeah, mine was a little different. I got they told me to go check into a hotel right outside of base. So that was a little ghetto. Um,
Yeah, any hotel directly outside of a base. If anyone ever tells you to come visit them at a base they're stationed at, do not book a hotel directly outside of the base.
yeah.
Those are not the best.
So I just checked in to the hotel, and then the next morning, bus picked me up and took me over to basic training. I won't get too much into that because I'm assuming you guys talked about it. My basic training was 8 weeks long at the time. Um, Once you're in basic training, they kind of tell you, like at the end of it, right before you graduate, they'll tell you like where you're headed to next. That's when I found out my great journey was going to continue in San Antonio. So I joined the Air Force as a 102, a loadmaster, and my tech school, where they teach you your job, was actually still in San Antonio. Um, so I got to stay there. Went just right across the base to my tech school, and our tech school was broken into two parts for a loadmaster. So we did aircrew fundamentals, where they teach you just basic aircraft stuff, like weight and balance, how a plane's supposed to fly, like basically just some nerdy stuff about how planes function, thrust to weight, that kind of thing. So I did aircrew fundamentals, and that's where I became really confused. Like I said, I didn't know what my job was going to be. So they started talking about flying and all the traveling we're going to do. And I had to stop the class and raise my hand. And I was like, hey, sir, Airman De La Rosa, I don't know why I'm in this class. I think I'm in the wrong class. I was like, you guys are talking about flight stuff. I was told I'm just going to load planes. I was really wrong.
Yeah, you're on the plane the whole time.
Yeah, my job. Come find out, my job was going to be to fly on the plane. So yeah, we did that at the time. My career fundamentals, I think, was like 4 weeks long. Then after that, they send you to Loadmaster school, which is probably like 6 weeks long. And at that part, they just teach you how to like actually load the plane. So you're directing forklifts to the back of the aircraft, or we had these big K loaders that could take big containers onto the aircraft. So you learn all those basics there. Teach you how to handle hazardous cargo, ammunitions, things like that. So I did that for about 6 weeks, and then from there you graduate, you get your wings. And then where did we go from there? Got my wings.
You probably went to Little Rock, right?
Oh no, I went to Seattle. Or I went not to Seattle.
Yeah, survival schools.
Yeah. So since I didn't fly previously, I was what they call high school to flight school. Not unheard of, but it was a little rare back then to go straight from high school to flight school. But since I hadn't flown anything before, they sent me to survival school up in Washington, and you basically hike around camp. They teach you how to survive in the woods, and you kill a rabbit and a chicken and boil that and eat it in a nasty soup. They also, it's where they teach you like basically like how to resist your captors if they capture you, how to not fail an interrogation. So you do that. I did that. How long is Sear?
Sear's like 2.5 weeks, I think. 2-3 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, I think so. I did that. That was cool. It was a really cool experience. I went up there in January. It was freezing. It was freezing, so we got caught in a blizzard one of the nights. That was a lot of fun. Once you finish Sear, for me, which, like I said, was in Fairchild in Washington, they sent me over to Pensacola.
Oh, you still got to do the fun one.
Yeah, I got to do the fun one. Pensacola was super dope. They send you out, and it's part of water survival and parachute survival. So I got to do two birds with one stone. I don't think they do that anymore because
no, they got rid of
people died.
And it was just too good of a deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think somebody did get run over with a boat while they were in the water and killed.
Yeah. So I went, same thing. It was like February. I went to Pensacola. It wasn't too cold, but there they teach you, how to survive in the water. So they go and throw you out into the ocean in this little tiny like 2x4 raft thing. That
Yeah.
was a lot of fun.
Oh, and you said January, so it wasn't fun for you.
No,
I went in the nice summertime. It was like
no.
vacation.
You do that. They teach you some parasailing. They can't actually drop you out of an aircraft and expect you to survive in the water. So what they do instead is they got this big old ship out there, and they used to pull you behind and parasail you, and then disconnect your parasail and watch you fall into the water, and you try
But
to get out of
well,
under the parachute.
they didn't disconnect. They disconnected you from the boat. You were still under the parachute.
Oh, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you didn't just like fall 250 feet down into the water.
No, they disconnected the parasail from the boat. Um, but yeah, you hit the water. They teach you all that. That was probably the funnest training I had.
Oh yeah.
I got picked up from by a 60 and a Huey, both out of the little raft in the middle of the ocean. It was a unique experience. Um, yeah, that was basically the end of like pre-tech school. Um, Once I left Florida, I went straight to Little Rock, Arkansas. That is where the C-130 schoolhouse is, where they teach you how to do C-130 Loadmaster things. Um, I said I probably got there in like the middle of February of 2010. No, 2011. Um, got there, and there they teach you the basics, right? So they once again they recover all the your loadmaster procedures, how you're going to load aircraft. They teach you all the hazardous materials, all the paperwork you're going to have to do, but then they start introducing you like into the actual aircraft.
Yeah.
So yeah, it starts with like ground training for us in C-130s, at least as a loadmaster. It starts a lot of it's on the ground. So they have these like old Vietnam era C-130s that like are half cut off, like fuselage trainers. And there they just teach you how to rig parachutes, and how to load stuff. And then once you're done with that portion, they just kind of realistic. They just throw you into the plane. That's what it feels like. Maybe it's not like that, but as a student, that's what it felt like.
I mean, yeah, we always joked about that throughout all of our training. It feels like a fire hose. They're gonna hit you with so much information,
Yeah.
and you just have to try and absorb enough to pass.
Yeah.
And you're not going to become a proficient crew member until years
Years of
later.
practice.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
going to always have you with a senior crew member
Mhm.
until you actually are a good crew member.
Yeah. So that was a little unexpected. Like I said, I kind of still remember the first time I got on a plane and we go to take off, and it's just like, whoa, this just happened. This is real. And all of a sudden, they're expecting you to talk on radios and do stuff and talk to the crew, and there's no way to prepare you for that. In 130s at the time, I think you usually only got 2 simulator flights as a loadmaster with your crew. So very, very little like actual like crew interaction before you go and get on a real flight. But yeah, you get into flying. That whole school was like 6 months long. Um, at first, they kind of just fly you around the base to get you maybe to throw up once or twice, teach you some basic stuff, and then they roll into like what they called like day tactical flight. So they'll take you and they'll go do like low level flights around the mountains. They'll teach you just how to walk around in like really turbulent air and how to do checklists and really just getting you used to flying. Once day tac was done, they moved you into night tac, and you're doing a little bit of the same thing, but then they started introducing like airdrop stuff. So as a loadmaster, you're not only like loading basic cargo, but your job is also to help do airdrop. So to drop equipment, people, really anything out of the aircraft with parachutes attached, and into what they call drop zones. You know, Steve, you said you were in the army, but like if you've ever had anything dropped to you at a fob or at a base anywhere, there's probably a loadmaster doing that. Um, so yeah, that's what NITAC involved, and the whole Little Rock experience. The thing was only like 6 months, so it's really fast and furious. And from there, you get assigned to your unit, and you're kind of expected to go fly and do your job. Um, yeah, that was basically my whole tech school experience from basic training to the end of tech school. I think was, let me see, I got there in June. It's probably about a year from basic training to when I was fully qualified, had my check right, and everything done.
Yeah. Yeah. I know mine took probably when I went to C-130s as an engineer. It's probably about the same.
About the same. Yeah.
That was, you mentioned how the whole you didn't fly with the crew at all, because
Yeah.
I did a lot of sims with the
As a flight
pilots.
engineer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the pilots, and then I remember my first couple flights suddenly, because I did all my pre-flight with the Loadmasters,
Yeah.
and these are like suddenly I was really good. I knew my pilots well in my class. I knew all of them, and then suddenly it's like, and here are these two dudes that you're gonna spend the first hour and a half of your flight with trying to get the plane ready to fly. It's like, hi guys, what's up?
Yeah. It's definitely fun. Um, yeah, tech school was. Wish I could go back. I met a lot of cool people. I didn't meet you there, but I met some of my like best friends that you keep in touch with over a long, long time. But yeah, so we finished tech school. From there, I was told, lied to, that I was supposed to go to Alaska. That was my first duty assignment. They kind of, I don't know how it works for the regular Air Force, but when you're a flyer, I finished tech school. I didn't even know what aircraft I was assigned to until like the middle of tech school, and then they tell you, okay, you're going C-130s. And I got C-130E models and H models, and then that was like the oldest.
What year did you join, by the way? Sorry.
Oh, 2011, early 2011.
All right.
Yeah. So I started off with E models and H models, and then
Which are the oldest still flying C-130s. I don't even know if the E model still is nowadays, but at least when we were flying on the C-130, those were E models had flown in Vietnam.
Yeah, those are old.
Yeah, I actually flew one of those in Iraq, and then H models were just the next step up, depending on which model they were made. Those were made from like 1975 through 1990 or so.
Really?
So it kind of depends on what year one
Which
you got.
ones? Yeah.
But they're all old as hell.
Yeah. It did E models H. They didn't, like he said. There's different versions of the H model, so they had H1, twos, and threes. You got to fly a little bit of everything. But when you're done with tech school, that's when you find out what your assignment is. So I kind of got tricked, and I was there like, hey, yeah, you're going to Alaska. I got my orders. I graduated tech school. I got the military to pack all my stuff up, and they moved it to Alaska. And halfway there, they were like, "Hey, the unit that you're going to be assigned to just shut down. Like, just go ahead and go back to Arkansas." So that was a little uh, good, good hello call from the Air Force. Like, yeah, we run your life now.
Were you heartbroken? Did you really want Alaska?
Oh, I really wanted Alaska.
Oh, that sucks.
I really wanted Alaska. Um, so yeah, they sent me back to Arkansas. Lose me. It was fun either way. I learned to love it. But once I finally got back into Arkansas, I showed up to Little Rock Air Force Base. It's like the biggest C-130 base. I'm pretty sure anywhere.
Yeah, it's the heart of all C-130 operations.
I think at the time there was like 200, close to 200 C-130s. There. It was kind of ridiculous. Yeah, once I got there, I got assigned to a unit that no longer exists. It was the 50th Airlift Squadron. They used to fly, like I said, C-130Es, H's when I was there. And I got to do that. I was with them for about 2 years, I want to say, um, between 2011 and 2013. So I got there when I first arrived to the unit. I like to tell this story a lot because people don't believe me. Hopefully, some of my prior coworkers listen to this. But when I first arrived to the unit, we had like over 120 airmen alone, like airmen loadmasters, because the C-130s were kind of like moving to new models. So everybody who was still on the older model all got lumped into one unit. So it was a huge unit. And my first 3 months at the unit, I wasn't even allowed to go to work until I was scheduled to fly. Unless I was scheduled to fly, they didn't want you there because they didn't have enough desks for you, essentially. So that
Nice.
was a cool, really cool deal for me. I basically got drunk for 3 months straight, waited for them to call me.
Yeah. So your time frame, I totally believe that because around that time, 2012, 2013 is when my base, Dias Air Force Base, they lost half of their H models to the newer J
To the
models.
new J models,
So
yeah.
that's why I no longer had a job and had to move to the Osprey.
Oh,
And so I can see, and then our Loadmasters were all shoved. The ones that didn't get cross flowed right away were shoved into the other squadron, and they probably had the same problem.
yeah, yeah. So that was, I mean, it was cool. It made me not very good at my job for the first few months, but it was fun. I got to enjoy some time off. Um, but yeah, we did. That was like basically my intro to like a real Air Force squadron. They're like, "Hey, don't come to work." uh, but yeah, from there, probably I think I had like 6 months before I was deployed. So I arrived to unit. Like I said, sat around for 3 months. Finally started flying. They're like, "Hey, you're deploying in 6 months." Um, so when the Air Force is a little different, I don't know if the whole military is like this, but when you like get qualified to do your job, you're qualified in the most like basic sense. Um, so even though I was qualified to do some airdrop and to do some flying, I wasn't allowed to do it all. So I still had to get qualified to do like certain like types of airdrop where we drop these bundles that are like GPS guided. They call them JPads, Joint Precision Airdrop System. I don't know if that still even exists, but they used to have these cool bundles that would like guide themselves to ground. You had to get qualified in that to drop people out of the aircraft. They would have to qualify you on that afterward. Like this is all post tech school. This is just like on the job training.
Yeah, I'd say tech school for any air crew only, well, at least between loadmasters and flight
Yeah,
engineers and all that, I'd say our tech schools only covered 20% of our actual job.
yeah,
You OJT'd
all of it.
the rest of it.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, for me as a loadmaster, I don't want to talk down the curve, but like the OJT was pretty short. I feel like it was like within 6 months, I felt pretty proficient. Like I don't think I was great, but I could go and do the job with the best of them probably. Um, it wasn't too complicated. Once you got certified, you just went and you did it. Um, so yeah, 6 months is about what it took before I deployed for my first time. So career moved pretty quickly. I don't know if that's normal or not. Felt like it was normal to me, but yeah, within 6 months I was gone. I got to deploy to Bagram in the middle of summer for my first deployment. Bagram is like it's in Afghanistan. And it's hot. It's terrible. It's gross. Don't miss it. Um, but yeah, within 6 months, I was there doing the job. Most of what we did in Afghanistan, this was like what? This must have been end of 2011, 2012. So
Like the drawdown time.
yeah, it was a drawdown time. I felt like we were just moving a whole lot of stuff. One of the primary jobs for C-130 was to move cargo around and people around. So we would just fly all through Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, all the stands, and just move equipment and people around. That was mostly my first deployment. Um, yeah,
The stands are, some of them are better than others, that's for sure.
yeah. We were just talking about uh, where's
The
Manas?
Manassas, Kyrgyzstan.
Kyrgyzstan. Yeah, Kyrgyzstan. Um,
He and I both had flown missions through Manassas uh, in our previous lives, but neither, like, we'd never met each other or anything there, but we're familiar with the base, and it is gorgeous.
yeah, it
If
is
you ever had to
gorgeous.
go to, like, if somebody ever told you, hey, you need to go to Kyrgyzstan for 6 months, jump on that TDY or deployment, like, immediately. That's a great country.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It was a lot greener, a lot cooler than Afghanistan, even though they're so close. It's hard to believe. But yeah, first deployment, did that. Um, did I just go on about my career after that? Kind of.
I mean, yeah, just anything, life nuggets you feel like you learned, maybe something you want to pass to anyone who learned about Loadmaster, or they're possibly thinking of Loadmaster or currently
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. I guess I could go into like the career path afterwards, right? So you become a loadmaster and you get assigned to your aircraft, and you do that usually for a year, 2 years. And once you get good at your job, there's different career paths that you can take. So you can become like in the Loadmaster world. There's really after Loadmaster, you were an instructor Loadmaster, and then from there you became an evaluator Loadmaster. Um, I only got to make it to instructor Loadmaster, and once I got to the instructor portion in Little Rock, it's kind of like a trap. So they're like, "Hey, you're going to become an instructor. That means you have to go to a schoolhouse, and you're going to have to go teach all like the brand new people in the Air Force." Mind you, I've only been doing this for at this point like maybe a year and a half. So that was not of interest to me.
But I love that after a year and a half, they're like, "You're good enough to teach.
Yep.
Get in there."
Yeah. Sink or swim, buddy. Sink or swim.
Yeah.
So yeah, that wasn't of interest to me. So I did the instructor thing, but then afterwards, I kind of finagled my way out of it. I got the opportunity to go do JAI, the Joint Airdrop Inspector. So like Loadmasters receive all this equipment with parachutes attached to them that Air Force has their own riggers. Their whole job is to pack parachutes, attach them to expensive Humvees and equipment and boats, and then the Loadmaster goes and they put it on the aircraft and they rig it. But then all of that has to be inspected by the JAI. So the JAI knows a little bit of the rigging process, not a lot. They're not experts, but they can go and look at all the rigging that the riggers did, and then they look at the equipment, they certify it. Once it gets loaded onto the aircraft, the Loadmasters rig it to the aircraft, and then the JI goes and certifies it again and make sure that the Loadmaster kind of did it all correctly. And then once they're certified, they can go airdrop it.
Did you ever have to do a bad bomb board?
Oh, I did. Yeah. JI was cool. Like Joe's alluding to, there's some experiences that aren't as fun. They have bad bomb boards. It's basically like if the airdrop goes bad and you lose equipment, if it's expensive, they want to know what went wrong and who messed it up.
Or if you just miss the drop zone. So there is a drop zone. This is the grids that the payload is supposed to land in, or the people. If you're dropping people, if it doesn't land in that, even if it's totally fine, like it just lands one field over, nope, that is not good. Like what happened? That's the one bad bomb board I did. We had one jumper land off. These covered all of it. Pretty much covered it. So
yeah, I think so. And I'm gonna talk bad about the Army real quick. Sorry, Steve. So like my worst bad bomb board was out of Pope. Was it? Yeah, it was Pope. Or Bragg or whatever it's called.
Pope Army. When we were still in C-130s, I think it was still Pope Air Force Base. It was its own.
Oh, was it?
It might have been. It was right about that time. It changed over, and then it got reabsorbed by Bragg and just became Pope Army Airfield, which is what it is today.
But there's one time, I'm going to make some assumptions here about what happened, but there's this Army dude who was loading our aircraft, and he had been drinking, for sure, because I saw him behind the warehouse drinking with the other people, like loaders, and they hit one of our aircraft, and it's kind of a big deal. So I stitched on him right away. I was like, hey, that dude should not be loading our aircraft anymore. I'm pretty sure he's been drinking. So he got in trouble, sent him home. Don't know what happened. Doesn't matter too much. But the next day, we were supposed to do all these airdrops. And I had inspected all the parachutes. The JPads, the joint position ones, the one that I was saying that were like GPS guided. Well, I had inspected them, certified them, put my stamp of approval on them. They went and got loaded. They went to go fly. And when they went to go drop them out of the aircraft, they all just plummeted into the ground. Did the investigation, come to find out somebody went and cut all the risers on the parachutes. So somebody maliciously went and cut all the parachutes. That was like the worst bomb board I had, because trying to figure out who.
Yeah, I'm sure you were immediately.
Did you miss that?
Yeah, how did you missed this on all 6 or however many you did? And
I think it was 6 actually.
That was an Axis C-130. Yeah, so I remember that number.
Yeah, so that was the worst band board I ever went through. Blame it on the Army. Blame it on Steve, actually.
Yeah, smart.
But what do we transition to?
If you want to cover a little bit of why you had to maybe cross into Osprey, or if you volunteered to cross over, because
Oh,
I was basically told I had to cross train due to.
yeah, me too. The C-130s, like I said, I was E models, H models, and they were like, "Hey, E models and H models are going away. You have to go to J models." So I did transition. I went back to school, I think, for 4 months to transition to the J model. Um, and then, but when I graduated from J model, I went straight to JI. And while I was at JI, the military was like downsizing a whole bunch of people. And I remember they came and they said, I think it was 30%. They're like, 30% of you are going to have to leave the job and not be loadmasters anymore. I can't remember the chief's name, but he's the one that told me. He's like, 30% of you guys are going away. Either you can gamble and stay and hope that we don't pick you, or you can choose your fate and go do something else. So right there, I was like, hey, is there anything available that you know of? And mind you, I hadn't talked to my wife or anything. And he was like, he goes, yeah, there's a CV-22s. And I was like, what? I don't even know what that is. He was like, "Are you interested?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll go do it." Mind you, had no clue what an Osprey even looked like at this point. Had no clue what my mission was going to be. I didn't talk to the wife. I didn't know where we were moving. I didn't know how fast we were moving. I didn't know anything. So he was like, "Okay, are you sure?" And I said, "Yeah." 3 days later, I was gone. Um,
That's a bold move of efficiency by the government's part. The
yeah,
idea that in 3 days they had you gone.
yeah,
That's impressive.
yeah. 3 days later, well, kind of. I went back to Fairchild because we had to do a Dunker.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that.
But that's kind of why I transitioned. The Air Force was downsizing, and they try to help you. I mean, they try to let you help yourself, and if you won't help yourself, then they'll be forced into doing what they have to do. I think they were just hoping that 30% of us would be like, yeah, we'll leave voluntarily and go do another aircraft. Um, but that's why I did it. It's just called sequestration or something like that. I forgot
Yes,
what it was called.
sequestration. I remember that.
Sequestration.
I
Yeah.
vaguely remember that happening at some point.
Yeah. So that's why I did it. I went back to Fairchild. I did that, and I did a underwater like dunker, where they like put you in this fake helicopter and flip it around and blindfold you and tell you to swim out of it, so that way you're practicing getting out of a sinking helicopter. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, smell chlorine for like 3 days afterwards, because
Yeah.
the first thing they make you do is put your head upside down in the water and let your sinuses fill up. That's not fun.
No, not fun. But yeah, man, those were tough times to be in the Air Force. I didn't want to leave. I had, like I said, I had just gone through training for J models. I had only flown for maybe 50 hours on the J before I was gone. So it's a good use of government resources.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then actually, I didn't even know I was going to CV-22s. They said it was a special mission aviator, is what they told me. So I didn't even know I was going V-22s yet.
True. Yeah, that's right. So you joined after, because when I crossed into CV-22s, you were still flight engineers, as like technically flight
Oh,
engineers.
really?
Then Air Force AFSOC decided, oh well, we want everybody who flies an aircraft in special operations to be special mission aviators, their own unique career field. So it didn't matter what plane you were on. You could be a gunner on a 60,
Mm-hmm.
an engineer on an Osprey, like a loadmaster on a gunship.
Yeah.
It didn't matter what your job was, you were still a special mission aviator.
Yeah.
And yeah, all that does is probably lead to more confusion,
Yeah.
because we all know it's like, well, what's your actual job? You just told me some nonsense words. I need to know what you do on this plane.
Mm-hmm. They're ridiculous. They're just making stuff up as they go.
Yeah.
But there's a theme here though. If you can't tell, I kind of just shoot from the hip and go about life. It's kind of what I'm going. It's working out so far.
Yeah, how did Margie take the whole not telling her that you were changing jobs? And
she was mad. If she were here, she would tell you the story, but she's not, so I'll tell it. We had actually just unpacked our last box because we had just moved. We bought a house within a year of this happening, so we hadn't even been in the house for a year, and she had just unpacked the last box.
So that's how you guaranteed orders.
Yeah. So I walk in the house and I didn't even get to say it. I walked in the house and she goes, "Guess what?" I was like, "What?" She goes, "I unpacked the last box. Our garage is free." And I was like, oh, well. I was like, surprise. We're probably going to be leaving really soon. Yeah, she was not happy. She was not happy with me. Especially when I got my training rip like the next day to go to Washington. I did really leave just 3 days later, and she was pissed off. I think Emma at this time was, man, how old was she? She was under a year old, so she was not happy. She was working with a baby. Yes. Like I said, shoot from the hip.
All the makings of a great country song ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I just kind of do things as they come up. I don't, whoever listens to us and is interested in joining the Air Force, I don't suggest you do that. Do your research. I just had some people who I maybe trusted too much, and they hooked me up the whole time. Yeah. So like I said, I got to be an SMA, Special Missions Aviator. I had no clue what aircraft I was going to once again. When I left Washington for the second time, where did I go? Albuquerque?
Yeah, that's can you still hear us, Steve?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to clear this message then that you sent. All right. But yeah, Albuquerque is where the schoolhouse was for the Osprey.
Yeah. Actually, no, and I missed the part. I had to go back to San Antonio actually, for SMA school because my Loadmaster school, the one that I did there, didn't count towards it apparently. So I had to go all the way back to San Antonio for another 6 weeks. I think. Yeah, I think no, 8 weeks. It was 2 months. I won't forget. It was 2 months. I got to go back home for 2 months. That was a sweet deal.
Sure, Margie was happy about that.
Yeah.
But she's also
she didn't go.
Antonio,
she
right?
didn't go with me.
Yeah, but she's also from San Antonio, right?
Yeah.
So she loved that you got to hang out with family.
Yeah, for 2 months. It was great. Got to do that. At that time, they used to have a weird incentive where whoever graduated as like DG of the class got to pick their planes, and I got lied to. I got DG, and I didn't know what to pick because I didn't do any research once again. So they're like, "Hey, what aircraft do you want? You get to pick where you get to go." And I was like, "Well, what's like the most sought after? What does everybody want to do? What's the Gucci of the jobs?" And they're like, "Yeah, go be a CV-22 guy." And that's how they got me. And I was trapped forever.
The getting to pick your own plane thing is actually what pilots do when they come out of the initial pilot schoolhouse.
Oh, really? They still get to do it?
Yeah, and then again though, it's like some of it's luck. You get those guys that they're no matter what, they want to be a F-22 guy or something, and they graduate top of their class, but then there's no F-22 slots, and so it's just soul crushing.
Yeah, just pick whatever they have available.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, but I didn't expect. But DG, I said it earlier, is that like this distinguished graduate, so the person who basically like somehow got the best scores on these made-up tests they give you. So I got to pick, and they convinced me to go Ospreys. They even flew an Osprey out there to try to convince a bunch of us to go Ospreys. I got to fly with one of our old coworkers, Grimes. You ever meet him?
Yeah, Grimes. Grimey. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was he was an instructor at the schoolhouse when I went through.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He really sold it to me. You would have thought I was talking to a dude from Wolf of Wall Street. So they were patting his hands, really selling it to me. It was a pretty good decision in the long run, but once again, I think I just got lucky because people were taking care of me.
Yeah. That is one thing I will say about the Osprey. Like, once you got through the hazing and got in,
Yeah.
we were such a small community that you have to start becoming friends and like working together, or else it would be impossible.
Yeah. How was your crossover? Have you talked about it?
Not yet.
No.
Because since I did the full 20 years, we've only just kind of covered
Like
my conventional time.
Gotcha.
But well, we can talk about. So you got it. Then your next unit would have been Cannon when I met you.
Yeah. Cannon. Well, I guess we could talk about Albuquerque because that was basically an assignment.
Yeah. Oh, did you PCS or did you TDY?
I TDY'd.
You lucky son of a bitch.
So,
I bet Margie forgave all your sins
oh yeah,
with that paycheck.
that was fun. So TDY is a temporary like duty. I think is what it actually stands for. So basically, the government saying, "Hey, we don't want to move you there, but we need you to go there," and it's usually for very temporary like timelines.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 6 months or less.
Yeah, I was there for 17 months.
Oh my god!
And mind you, I had just left Washington for like 2 weeks, and then I was in San Antonio for 2 months, and then 17 months now in Albuquerque. So yeah, it was dope. I think I was getting at the time the rules have changed. So once again, if you're hearing this, don't follow my footsteps. Not the best idea. But at the time, they were giving me, I think it was like between lodging and food, it was like $120 a day, and whatever I didn't use, I got to keep. So I went and rented like a cheap apartment. I think I was paying like $1,000 a month, and I got to pocket
Yeah.
all of it. It was great.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I had a PCS there because it. What year did you go through? Oh, you would went through after me.
In 15,
Okay.
16, 15, 16.
So that they went back to T. So weird. Like the class right before me was TDY. They
Mhm.
realized how much money the Air Force was hemorrhaging. So they're like, okay, we're gonna make it a PCS. So I was the first class that got PCS there and didn't get the big bankroll. But then at some point
They went back.
they streamlined. They felt like they streamlined the schoolhouse enough to make it a TDY again. But
The worst part is like I was this whole like 17 plus like it was almost 2 years in total. I still belong to my old unit, and they have to fund the entire thing.
oof.
Yeah, so they're the ones that were paying the bill. Like now they're losing me, and they have to fund my entire retraining. So yeah, I was in Albuquerque for 17 months getting hazed by people.
Why did yours take so long? Mine took a year, but that was just because Did you start class on time?
No, I did not start class on time.
Yeah, there we go.
I
That's
think I was
normal.
I got there and I didn't even do like academics probably for a month. And it all went honestly pretty fast until I got to nights. I was on nights for the better, like at least half a year, just waiting for like night flights.
I remember that
Yeah,
hang up
yeah,
where because they want to graduate the people who are closest to graduating, but then you have like a bunch of broken airplanes,
yeah,
and uh, people just start piling up.
yeah. People did pile up. Hey, go there and you get hazed for 17 months. It was lovely. Um, it's not true. It's not real hazing, but they do give you a hard time. They try to
Yeah,
make you the best they can make you.
yeah, and you just don't want to be looking like you're unemployed around the squadron because they
Yeah,
will find work for you,
they
or
will find work for you.
yeah, and they will just find stuff to quiz you on.
Yeah,
Like you just walk in and they're like, "Here's a limitation sheet. Fill out all this. I'm gonna be back in 10 minutes.
and you better not get any of it
You
wrong.
better not get any wrong because it's open book. If you miss one, oof.
I think I was there for 2 weeks, and an instructor gave me a boldface. Like their boldface is emergency procedures on an aircraft. You don't have to remember all the emergency procedures in an aircraft. It's good if you do, but you don't have to. You really only have to memorize like key ones.
And the bold faces are the ones that are like mandated. You have to know these by
Yeah,
heart, and if you don't, then you're not allowed to fly. Basically,
yeah. So I did mine on the computer. Mind you, I'd only been there for a couple weeks, and I missed space. It was back when you used to have to do it in PECs
mm.
or G teams, whatever they used, and I missed the space. So it said that I felt it, and the instructor made me. Who was it? Oh man, I can't remember the instructor. I wish I could name drop him right now. That piece of crap. But he made me write on a piece of paper, "I will not film my boat face," 250 times.
Cool.
Yeah, I sat there all day, all night until the cruise landed, writing, "I will not film my boat face." Yeah, um, that was a lot of fun. Yeah,
So you would have gotten to Clovis Cannon with me. What was that? 2017.
I got there November of 16.
Oh, so you got there just before I did.
Yeah.
You were there a little before me. Okay.
Yeah, that's how I met Joe here. I got to Cannon, New Mexico, best base ever. If you guys are interested, they will take you.
Oh yeah. Never turn anybody away.
Yeah, I got to Clovis. When you get like to your first like in Ospreys at least, when you like get to the unit, and I don't even think they do this anymore, but they used to have a green flight. Like you put your greenest people in there. That's why they call it a green flight. And Joe was actually my first flight chief. I was old senior airman Miguel, and Joe was there laying down the hammer. Joe was actually pretty nice, like right off the bat. He was probably one of the only real people.
Because I knew you were an adult.
Yeah,
I had to deal with like airmen,
babies.
yeah, I had to deal with real dumb kids, and then you were at least somebody who should know how to show up with their shoes tied.
Yeah. So yeah, when I get to Clovis, I got there in November. I got there Black Friday, and it was terrible. To Clovis, green flight with Joe here. Trying to remember all that whole part of. I don't know why. Maybe it was so stressful that
Well, we were
like it
busy.
feels blank.
'Cause,
Yeah,
like the 2 years I was stationed at Clovis, we were deployed 6 months, and
Yeah.
we were gone TDY at least another 6. Like, we
Yeah.
were busy.
yeah. My wife was like she moved with me to Clovis, but she wasn't there, so I definitely signed up for like every TDY I possibly could. Every single one. My greatest achievement the last year I was there. I think I flew. What did I fly? I think it was like 600 or 700 hours or something like that. And the only flight I had at Clovis was my check ride. Yeah,
Wow.
so
Impressive.
Yeah.
You can tell them about your time in San Diego if you want.
Allegedly.
What? That
Yeah.
you allegedly drowned?
Yeah. I'll tell the story. Just to kind of transition to something a little less military. So you get to go TDY a lot. Obviously, Joe's and I's careers. Being air crew, your job is to fly. That means flying to different places and exploring a lot of cool things. Got to go overseas a bunch, but then I also got the opportunity one time. You were there at that TDY, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't come to the beach with y'all because
No.
I was smart.
Oh, we went to San Diego on a trip one time. I don't even remember what I was doing there because I didn't fly much.
Nobody did.
Yeah,
It was a wild
I think that
trip.
was a part of the why people are doing reckless things. But we went out to the beach and it was a black flag. Mind you, I'm from Texas, so I don't know what this black flag means. But there was a black flag. Do you know what a black flag means?
Yeah, it means you're not supposed to go in the fucking water.
Well, like literally what it means. Like, is there like a wave limitation? Or
I think it's
something?
just like rip currents and just
Really?
unsafe conditions.
Well, I can tell you the life guards weren't allowed to enter the water. But yeah, it was a black flag, and it was me, Frank, Reddy, Gwen, and
Bostwick there.
no, Dean.
Oh, Jason, that's right, yeah.
Jason Dean was there. But they're like, yeah, we're gonna go boogie boarding, and like they're like, we're somehow gonna go boogie boarding in these 20-foot waves. It's gonna be a whole lot of fun. So they convinced me. Mind you, never been boogie boarding in my life. I don't live anywhere near the beach.
Just shooting from the hip.
Shooting from the hip works out. So they convinced me to do this, and the waves are so gnarly we can't even get past like the first break to even catch a wave in. Everybody's trying really hard, and I'm like diving under waves, trying my hardest to get out there, and all of a sudden, I do, but I get really like beat up. I basically get past the first break, and I didn't realize that there was a second break. And so then I got caught in between the first and second break for like an hour and a half, just getting absolutely destroyed. I got like I had a wetsuit. This was in the wintertime. What time of year was this? I think it was like January again, right?
Yeah, it was.
It was cold.
Yeah, because that was a real busy. We were gone all the time in the beginning of that year. So
Yeah. But I got spit out into the ocean. Basically, long story short, I lose my boogie board. I get thrown out well far into the ocean. I'm like basically drowning, just trying to survive for like an hour and a half. My buddies on the ground are like trying to call the lifeguards. The lifeguards are like, no, we can't. The water's so bad that we physically cannot go get them. They were like seconds away from calling the Coast Guard when I was about to give up. I was pretty close. Luckily, like I think I was a few hundred yards away, like hundreds of yards away from the beach, and somehow I saw my boogie board, and I decided to make a break for it. Kind of hit me in the face with the wave, and I made a break for it. And I grabbed that thing and I was like, well, I'm either gonna die in the next 5 minutes or I'm gonna live. So I'm just gonna kick as hard as I can. And after an hour and a half of just trying to tread water, I decided I was gonna swim really hard to the beach one last time, and I made it back. Um, yeah, San Diego. That was
Yeah.
at La Jolla. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have been there, but maybe not in Black Flag.
Yeah, that whole trip was wild. That's
Yeah.
the one where we went. You didn't come with us, but we went falconing.
Falcon in, yeah.
Yeah, Mary. I flew Mary out for that
I
week when
think a
we
lot
had
of
no
I don't know
flight.
why I
A
didn't
lot
do
of people
that.
flew. Yeah, she went to the zoo. Like, I
Yeah,
think
you
somebody
got
had a kid during that trip because of that
somebody
trip.
probably made a kid.
Yeah, so
Frank
that's what it
Reddy
is.
made a
Somebody
kid.
made a kid during that trip. Yeah, like it was a wild one. They're very rare trips like this. That's why all of us remember them because
Yeah.
that's where memories get made.
On this one, I think they were like testing. They were like, it was the like first time Osprey was gonna get fuel from
Yeah, I
the.
went on that flight, the KC-10.
Was it the case? No, not the case 10. The KC 40s 146 46, whatever it's called.
I
Or
got
was it the 10?
it was the
It
10.
was the 10.
It was the first time an Air Force Osprey did. I
Oh,
think the
okay.
Marines had done it a handful of times,
Yeah.
but then we went out. What it was is we had 2 TDYs scheduled, like the first or second week of January. We had one big exercise scheduled, and then a week of nothing or 5 days of nothing, and then another big exercise scheduled out there on the near San Diego again.
Oh, so we
And
just stayed there.
some officer who deserves a medal wrote, convinced the base commander that, hey, it is cheaper to keep all of us in San Diego for 5 days with no exercise, no nothing
Nothing to
to
do.
do, than fly us back to Clovis and then back out to San Diego.
What a
And
deal.
yeah, what a deal. And they're like, oh, we'll do some local training. That's why we
Hmm.
would do like one flight a night.
I don't think I flew the entire time I was there. I'm like I think I was there as a backup if somebody got sick or something.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I got to fly at all. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't get to do falconing or falconeering, whatever they
Well,
call it.
yeah, me and
But you guys
Jason.
also did the other one, the
Oh, we tried kiteboarding, but
kiteboarding.
the
There you
wind
go.
wasn't strong enough to get out in the water with that.
Yeah.
The falconing one was fun because the dude lost a bird, and then
Like lost it.
well, it flew away, and then he and Frank and Jason went with the guy to like try and capture it, and then he left me there in a park with all those other birds, and all these random people were coming up asking me bird facts.
Really?
I'm just making shit up. Like, yeah, this is a hawk. I don't
Yeah.
know.
A black tip hog something.
Yeah.
Man, that was probably one of my most memorable, and yeah, probably my most memorable TDY in the Osprey in the years I did. That was fun. Mine is like maybe one of the Thailand trips that we did.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know, we're probably coming up close to an hour, I guess. But so then you and I, we get to Japan. You came out. Did I go first or did you go out to Japan?
I went first,
Okay.
and then I went first, and I was like I think I was a squadron exec at the time.
Yeah.
Like I worked for the commander, so I could see like people there that were coming in. I remember I texted one time. I was like, "Hey, see you on my inbounds," and you're like, you tried to play it off like you didn't know. You're like, I don't know, it might not be, and then I might be the case. And I was like, oh, forget you, Joe. You didn't want to tell anybody, I guess. Was that it? How did you find out? They just told you not to tell people,
What, that I was coming to Japan? Well, no, I found out.
or did you really not know?
I knew, but it was similar to like when that chief came. It was Jimmy. Jimmy
Oh,
comes
yeah.
up to me and is like, "Hey, we need people in Japan now. Can you go?" And I'm like, "When do you need to know?" He's like, "Yesterday." Unlike you, I actually asked Mary, and I was like, "Well, Jimmy, I'll tell you tomorrow."
Yeah.
And then I told Jimmy the next day, and I was like, "Hey, we can go, but we can't leave until this date because Mary's parents had already like booked travel to come visit us from
Oh,
England."
yeah.
I was like, "Look, I know you want us there like literally tomorrow, but we can't leave for a couple months."
Yeah.
And so, luckily, again, it's like guys that are looking out for you in your own community.
Yeah.
Jimmy could have fucked me
Yeah.
and been like, "Nope, needs of the Air Force. You're gone tomorrow."
Yeah.
But he was like, they were able to keep me
Yeah.
there. So
Have I told you about how I got to Japan?
no.
Jimmy, shout out Jimmy, love you, Jimmy. But we were deployed. We were together on that last deployment.
Jimmy wasn't on that
No,
one.
he wasn't. But we were supposed to get back like late summer, and my date to separate from the Air Force, I think, was in December. And he calls me. He goes, "Hey, are you going to re-enlist while you're out there? And I was like, hell no, Jimmy, I'm not doing that. I'm done. I was like, I'm getting out. He goes, well, is there anything we could do to keep you in the Air Force? And I was like, no, there's nothing you can do. He's like, try me. And I was like, well, I would have to get a bonus. I want a bonus. And he's like, he was like, what are the chances our bonus is coming back? It'll be available to you next week. And I was like, seriously? He goes, yeah. He was like, what's the second one? I was like, I want to go overseas. Um, he goes, well, anywhere? And I was like, yeah, anywhere. I was like, I just want out of Clovis, and you have to have me gone by the end of the year. He goes, well, I can't get you out by the end of the year. I kind of shot myself in the foot because I ended up leaving January 2nd. But that's kind of how it happened. He was like, all right, well, you're going to Japan then. Once again, didn't talk to the wife at all. She thought I was getting out of the Air Force. We didn't talk about it until I got back from that deployment. And I was like, hey, honey. I was like, how do you feel about like going overseas? She was like, well, you said you really want to get out. I was like, well, I still do, but yeah. I was like, how do you feel about Japan? She was like, I've never even thought about Japan. She's like, what does it look like? I was like, well, you should look into it. We're moving. Like, when did we get back? We got back in like October or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was gone January 2nd, so it was a pretty quick turnaround. Yeah. So, yeah, that's how I stayed in the Air Force for even longer. That was not the plan at all. I think at that point I was only in for like 7 years, 7 years ish, probably. So it was a quick turnaround. Said if there's new people hoping to join the Air Force and you're listening to my story, don't do what I did. Just take it as a lesson learned.
And then up to you if you want to talk about how you separated or.
Yeah. So fast forward, right? We were in Japan together. I was there for like 5 years, a little over 5 years. I got really lucky. While I was there,
Lucky.
yeah, lucky-ish. While I was there, I went to go fly one day, and I had what you call a mini stroke on the plane, and um, I had started having a whole bunch of neurological issues, and the Air Force basically said I couldn't do my job anymore after 13 years. So after 13 years, they do this. This is a process called a med board. So after you can't do your job, at least as flyers, if you can't do your job for a year, then they put you in front of a med board and they decide whether you can't do your job anymore. Cool, but can you do any job, or are you just done with the military as a whole? Um, they told me I was done as a whole, so I got offered what's called a medical retirement, and it's a little bit different than a medical separation. Medical retirement is they're essentially telling you that you're no longer fit for the military, but some of the reasons why you're no longer fit for the military is their fault, and at least 50% of your disabilities are caused by them. Then you get offered a medical retirement. So that was cool, kind of. I got when I got told I was medically retiring, I kind of saw it coming, but when they told me, I really had like I think I had 45-ish days to transition and be out of Japan and back in America. Um, but yeah, that was fun. But it's good to know that they'd like take care of you.
Yeah. How long did that whole process take from like start to
Like the actual med board, once the med board started,
yeah.
it was probably like 90 days.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I think is not standard, but because we were overseas and I had been like not able to do my job for so long, they really wanted to like go ahead and just get it over with.
Mm.
But like I said, we all saw it coming. Our commander at the time saw it coming. I knew it was coming. I tried to, not really prepared for it. But yeah, when it came fast. Like I said, they take care of you.
Yeah. And it was nice too. Our commander, I remember during that year you couldn't fly, like
Yeah.
they took care like you were employed, like they definitely
Oh yeah.
put you to work. You got to do and you weren't doing just like office bitch work.
No.
You know, you got to go out to Thailand with us and
Yeah.
do all the
I was in plan, so I mean I was in dang near every unit TDY you can go on. I was on it.
Yeah.
So that was a good last year. Yeah, when you get out of the Air Force or any military, the basic like you could get like just separated if you're like done with your contract, you can get out. They have like different contract lengths that you can do. Then they also have like admin separations. Like if you do something bad, they can get rid of you pretty quick. Then they have medical separations, which means like you have some medical stuff keeping you from being able to join the military or do military stuff anymore, but it's not bad enough to where they're going to retire you. And the medical retirement is what I got. Um, it's pretty cool. I get TRICARE for life. My family and kids do. I don't have to pay anything. No copay.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Lucky.
At
I'm
all.
retired. I still have to pay a copay.
Yeah,
You son of a bitch.
I don't have to pay anything. That's what they get for messing me up. But,
Well, cool, Miguel. Thanks for sharing with us. Steve, you got any questions or stuff you want to talk about?
No, man, that was dude, that was really good stories. I think that really showed a lot of in depth of like the Loadmaster for a lot of people. I mean, I know like I've been on I think a few Air Force aircrafts, and I don't know, maybe it's just your personality or something, Miguel. But I'm like I always felt like the Loadmasters I had were like always like real dicks. Like they were like, don't touch my aircraft, sit down, shut up, don't move, don't do anything. It seemed like you might have been a little bit more pleasant to fly with, but
Oh no.
no,
I've
heck
flown
no.
with him.
No, on 130s, I got in trouble one time because we had a smoke inside the aircraft, and I was full. How many paratroopers we used to keep on the plane?
I think like 60, close
Yeah,
to
it was like
60.
60, and we were full up, Steve. And all these army dudes were freaking out because they couldn't breathe, and they're all like yelling at me, trying to pull my mask away from me. And oh man, I was pretty mean. I could be, I could be pretty aggressive, especially those army dudes. I always felt bad, like the paratroopers, because as a loadmaster, you had to walk up and down the aircraft, and those freaking army paratrooper dudes had like all that crap on them, so you couldn't walk past them. So the only way to get to the front and the back of the aircraft was like to step on them. So a lot of those dudes would get real mad, and we could be just as mean back. It wasn't on purpose. It's just I don't know. I feel like in aviation, or in a lot of jobs, even if you're not in aviation, you kind of just gotta get to the point and say what you got to say, and hopefully people listen.
Yeah. And I know you are not a teddy bear if you don't need to be. I know
No,
you kicked John so hard one night he couldn't walk for
no.
like a day.
Let's get. I'm just nice to you, Steve. Okay. I just met you, but it's only with you.
no, I appreciate that, man. No, I appreciate you seriously coming on. I know it's probably maybe a last minute type deal. I know Joe told me earlier this week that he had someone coming in to visit him, and then he was like, "Hey, man," he's like, "I can get this guy on." I'm like, "Yeah, man, we got to keep mixing it up here." We've had a couple Army guys on. Now it's nice to have an Air Force guy on as well too. So, yeah, no, I really appreciate you sharing your story and your journey.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate you and Joe, and hope you guys make it pretty far with this stuff. It's interesting. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I don't think I've heard one like this one. So hopefully, it reaches the right people.
Dude, right on. I appreciate that. Yeah, like I said, it's still kind of a ongoing, a little brainchild of mine. So we'll see, yeah, how far it reaches the masses and see if, hopefully, man, it helps someone down the line. But again, yeah, we'll wrap up here. Again, thanks again to our guest. That's Air Force Loadmaster Miguel. We'll try to keep this going next week as well too. Try to find another guest to bring in. Again, if you're hearing this, please like, share, subscribe. Oh, big news too. We're now on all the platforms. I figured out how to do that, so you can listen to us now on Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, YouTube, and of course on Spotify. So listen to, I guess, wherever you get podcasts. I think is what most people say. I don't know. But yeah, big thing is share this to anyone and everyone you think who maybe might be interested in hearing just all the different jobs that the military has to offer. And so with that, guys, I appreciate it again. Appreciate y'all's time, and we'll talk to y'all later.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Yeah, talk to you next week.